Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Keto Mom page. My name is Stephanie, if you don't know that. Maybe you do know that, because a lot of you have been here for a long time. If you're brand new, I would love to meet you. But we are diving into this book. It's super, super great. I love it. But what I would love to know before we dive into the book is, who has snow? We live in Minnesota. I should show you guys what it looks like outside our house. You want to see? Hold on, it's so cold. So cold. We need to start a fire. But if you walk with me over to my deck, we've got lots of window things. Can you see our lake? Hold on. Maybe you can see out this one better. There it is. We woke up to that. It snowed all night and it's snowing still. And our kids are so excited. So they wanted snow. We live in Minnesota, so I feel like if it's cold, we should have the snow. It's kind of how I feel like it should work. So where are you tuning in from? Do you have snow or not? It is very pretty. It is very cold. So when you walk outside, if you're not used to snow and you breathe in, you're like, I was shopping with my mom last night and you have to almost hold your breath sometimes when you walk from the car to the store, because it like hits you, like freezes your lungs. All right, are you ready? This book is great. We're talking about 5 seconds. 5 seconds that can change your day, a decision, something that you do or don't do. If you don't have the book, I would highly recommend getting it and just going through it yourself. Or you can just tune in here and I will read some of it to you. My hope is to help you start your day off with a positive mindset. So let's do this. What are you thankful for today? One thing. I'm actually thankful for the snow. It's really, really pretty. It's actually beautiful. And so today, she labels this part of the book around part 2, the power of courage. And she says, I have learned over the years, well, this isn't her, but she quoted this. I've learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. Well, that was phrased funny. Rosa Parks. We'll talk about her in just a second because she goes back to her story a lot. She says, before I discovered the 5-second rule, if you've asked me to give you an example of courage, I would have given you a list of history makers. Courage. She talks a lot about a lot of the decisions that we have to make throughout our entire day. Every day takes courage. It takes courage to say yes to some things. It takes courage to say no or to start. Lots of different things, right? She said, I would have given you a list of history makers. I would have never had said that courage is what it takes just takes some days to get out of bed, to speak to a boss, to pick up a phone, or to step on a scale. I would have told you that courage is a word used to describe a heavy or huge bravery. And isn't that right? Like we think courage or brave and we think somebody who's done something that's made history. But she's right. Her story started with getting out of bed. She needed to change her life. She needed to get her kids to school and look for a job. She created the 5-second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, doing something before your mind talks you out of it, right? Getting up and doing something. So she tells the story of Rosa Parks. I'm assuming everybody on here knows the story. Well, she says, everyday life is full of moments that are scary, uncertain, and difficult. Facing these moments and unlocking the opportunity, the magic, the joy in your life requires tremendous courage. One step at a time, one decision at a time, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, she says, step on the scale, have an awareness, and take action. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, make the phone call, send the text, go visit the person, say no to this, say yes to this, right? 5 seconds before you start analyzing, overthinking, talking yourself out of it, saying I can't do it. So she tells the story of Rosa Parks. And so I'm assuming you all know the story. And she talks about the power of Rosa Parks didn't decide that day that she was where she was going to sit. She didn't decide that day that she was going to stand up for what she felt is right. It was a instinct. It was like a no. before her mind could talk her out of it. Courage, in fact, is what she needs. So she says, courage, in fact, is what she needed to get out of bed. Mel. It was scary to get out of bed because it meant facing any problems. It was difficult to look at myself in the mirror and accept the fact that I was 41 years old and my life and my career, and I was in pretty lousy shape. It was overwhelming to consider that I might be able to fix the situation. Like, do you ever look at yourself and go, it's too overwhelming. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Well, you know what to do, but the whole, like the big picture seems overwhelming. So if we go back to Rosa Parks, she says, the moment of courage teaches us that it's not the big moves that change everything. It's the smallest ones in our everyday life that make the change. She didn't plan to do what she did that night. Rosa Parks described herself as a kind of person who was careful and cautious, possibly stayed out of trouble. The only thing she planned on doing that evening was going home. And so what was the defining moment? The time had just come, she said, that I had been pushed as far as I could stand to be pushed. And so she says, I suppose I just didn't move. She said, this is critical. Rosa Parks didn't hesitate or think it through. She didn't think what she was going to say or what she was going to do. She just did it before she could talk herself out of it. It happened so fast. She just listened to her instinct telling her I was not being treated right. And she pushed herself to the following action. And then she tells a story about Martin Luther King. And so she says, Dr. King he was pushed into the spotlight by his peers. Rosa pushed herself. They both experienced the power of a push. It's a moment when your instinct, values, and goals align, and you move so quickly that you don't have time or a valid reason to stop yourself. There's going to be moments throughout your day, right, where you have goals, you have values, you have things that mean a lot to you. You've got an instinct. You're going to say yes or no, make the phone call or not, go have the conversation or not. You've got to take that step of courage. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what the 5-second rule is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk out of the restaurant. Or don't go to that restaurant. A lot of you have goals for fat loss. So I'm saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make the better decision. Phone a friend to join you for an accountability. Walk into the gym and take the class that you've always wanted to, but before you talked yourself out of doing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Before you have self-doubt, before you have a reason not to, before you're like, I can't do it. I can't do it. All right. She said this. Courage is a power to push. You've got to push. Courage is a birthright. It's inside of you. It's inside of each of us. And every one of you just need to tap into it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's going to, excuse me, I need a drink. So good. All right. It's going to be just you sitting in a meeting. So it's good. She says, you're not going to have other people to lean on. Oftentimes, we talk about motivating and inspiring, and I just need to watch this person or read this book, right? And you might be inspired in the morning. My hope is that you feel inspired, motivated. You feel like, yes, I can do this. I can make the better decision. I can accomplish these goals, right? And here's the kicker. When you need it, you have to be able to push yourself into that, right? So you might be watching me, but you're not necessarily going to the gym right now. You might be going tonight. Can you still tap into your inspiration? You need the courage to walk through the gym. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She says, it's going to just be you sitting down at a meeting at work, standing up in your kitchen, doing something that people, like, have you ever thought to yourself, oh, I'm all by myself. Nobody's going to see me. I can eat that, right? You have to give yourself the push. Riding the subway, looking at your phone, staring at your computer, or thinking about something, and then all of a sudden it happens. Something will go down, and your instinct will come alive. You'll have an urge to act. Your values and your instinct will tell you what you should do, and your feelings will scream, no. That is the push moment. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to make a decision in the next 5 seconds. Don't grab the donut, walk into the gym, don't scream at your kid, make a better decision for dinner, drink water instead of that sugary drink. I know it sounds simple, but it's that teeny little moments every single day, right? It's the teeny little decisions. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm going to make the better decision, and I'm going to keep moving on with my day. Because over time, those small decisions become a snowball effect, right? My husband and I went through Dave Ramsey for finances years and years ago when we first got married. If you understand it, it's where you put all of the debt that you have and then you pay off the smallest one and then you snowball that payment into the next one, right? And you snowball that payment when it's paid off into the next one, and soon you've got this massive amount going towards the very last debt. Same thing, right? The snowball effect. You make a better decision. It's a small one. Then you take that and you snowball it into a different habit, and before long, you've got a system created, right? Isn't that what we want? We want better habits and better systems created because we want to feel better. We want to be better moms and better dads and better athletes. You want to have the energy and the focus to be able to be around your family and friends and just to feel better. Courage is just a push. She says there's only one you, and there will never be another you. That's your power. That's your superpower. People need you. All of us have different gifts and talents and abilities, and you might go, not me. That's a lie. Yes, you do. There's a reason why you're here. There's things that you have not done that are assigned to you to accomplish. People need you. People need you to feel good. People need you to feel better. People need you to be healthy so that you can pour into others. Your kids need you. Your spouse needs you. Your friends, your boss, your coworkers all need you. And they need the best you, right? So if that's the only thing or the reason right now until you feel good about who you are and who God made you to be, it's 5 seconds at a time. It's having an awareness. Lastly, I'll say this. One of our friends sent us a message this morning. He was talking about something totally different, but along the same lines. He was like, hey, how do you and your husband, I guess the question was, have such compassion and love for others? He goes, I see it. Was it always there? Was it taught? Was it something you learned? And I said, you want to know what? Everything that you do starts with an awareness of what you know or maybe don't have, but now all of a sudden you are aware of something, right? You have an awareness of it. And then you have to understand your emotions. It's called EQ. I've talked about this before. Once you have an awareness, it can't go away. You already know. And once you understand that we have emotions and we can control them, it's reacting versus responding. So when you act and react out of your emotions, you have a really low EQ. You don't make wise decisions. You react out of like emotions or anger or boredom or sadness, or like you instinctively act out of not 5 seconds of courage, but like, this person hurt my feelings, I'm going to go eat a chocolate bar, right? Low EQ. I said, once you have an understanding of your emotions and you can take a second and take a breath and know that you don't have to react in a negative way, but you can respond in a positive way, and you've got control of those things, right? And then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, put the donut down. Make the better decision. Don't scream at that person. Take a step back and go, I don't have to do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I've got goals. I've got a vision. I've got things that I need to accomplish for myself and those others around me. So, I don't know. I hope something spoke to you today. It's an incredible book. It's really, you want to know what? If you're looking for gifts to give this year, I love books. And so I actually just I've got a stack of books that I was going to show it on here. It's the book that I want to go through with you in January, but I can't show it yet because I'm giving a whole bunch of people this as a gift. And I don't want them to go buy it. Selfishly, I'm like, I really want to tell people the next book because it's really great. I've been reading through it, and I told my husband, I was like, this book has been sitting on my shelf. I randomly was looking for this book, had to borrow it from my friend Kelly because I must have given it away. And I found this other book, and I'm like, this is incredible. So I bought 15 or more, and I'm giving them away this weekend, and then I will show you what it is. Books are one of the best gifts you can give people. They might not love it. They might think it's boring, but as soon as they read it, tell them they have to read it. You could give this to anybody. Your kids, it's an easy read, your spouse, anybody at your job, friends, and say, listen, you will thank me for this. So if you're looking for a gift to give a book. Hands down, I tell people, if you give me books all day long, I'd be so happy. It's what I love. So I hope you have an incredible day. I'm always here to help. Send me messages. I will answer them, whether it's about food or how to get started, or I get a lot of questions about books or homeschooling and everything else. So I hope you have a great morning, and we'll talk to you soon. Stay warm.